Hi, I'm Pat Morris, your host for the PM Talk Show. Our telecast is made possible by these fine underwriters, and we thank them very much.
Locally owned and operated by Drs. Wheaton Boobridge, the Animal Care Center in Hammond and Pet Care Center in Ponchatoula have 6 vets on staff with nearly a century of combined experience. Celebrating our 30th birthday in May, the Animal Care Center has offered a full line of veterinary services, which includes medicine, surgery, grooming, boarding, and 7 days a week emergency services. Our mission is to provide the highest quality of veterinary care in a professional, compassionate manner. The Animal Care Center and Pet Care Center, a commitment to excellence with love and care for your pet.
Hello again, this is Pat Marsh, your host for the PM Talk Show. We have with us today a very special guest who owns and is the CEO of Parishes Supportive Living in Hammond, Louisiana. It deals with the elderly and people who have long-term disabilities. I'm talking about none other than Mrs. Belinda Trepagnier. How are you?
Hi, Pat. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We try to do service-related programs on the show.
Yes,
and there are a lot of people out there who may not know about the services. I know you have a big company, so we want to give you an opportunity to tell a little bit about the history of your company, why you started doing it, where you're located, and those types of things right now.
Okay, wonderful. Again, I'm Belinda Trepagnier. I've been in business now. April 11th of 2000 is when I founded Parishes Supportive Living. Back then, I did work for a major healthcare provider in New Orleans, and I saw that there was a need for more, I would say, accurate care for citizens that are struggling with a mental disability or a long-term care disability, like you mentioned, or the elderly. And I noticed that over the years that people have been, I guess they've been treated more or less as a number instead of as an individual. And to offer those services or these services in their home, which is a safe and secure place for these individuals to receive these services. So with that said, I am the CEO and I am the owner. I founded Parishes Supportive Living, and that name came to me because of the parishes that I served here in Louisiana. Fun, fantastic, love what I do, excited about what I do, and happy for what I do. Just go around and assisting individuals, but the biggest problem and challenge that I have, Miss Pat, is getting the word out to letting people know that these services do exist and that they're here.
Okay. Well, we're giving that opportunity today because we have a large viewership on Wednesdays and Sunday nights. So certainly the word will get out. We do it on Facebook. We do it on YouTube.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Right. So I'm noticing on your brochure you're saying long-term care, community choice waiver, children's choice, supervised independent living, and the acronyms. Can you explain all of that to us?
Absolutely. Long-term care is a care, I guess you would call a subject that was designated by the state of Louisiana to assure that individuals are eligible for care in their own home. We are the liaison or the in-between of getting people services in their residence instead of a nursing home. Statistics show that most people who are being serviced in a nursing home tend to pass away quicker than they would in the privacy and the comfortableness of their own home. So what long-term care does, you have to qualify for those services. And again, I want to make sure the viewers understand that this is a free service given by the state of Louisiana via the government. So there is a qualifying process, and they are more than welcome to phone my office locally here and an 800 number as well to get that phone number, and we can assist them to see if their loved one is qualified. And what that does is they can receive up to 30 hours, in some cases, Ms. Pat, even more hours per week to assist them in their home. So they would be assisted with daily living skills, they would be assisted with cooking, cleaning, personal hygiene, anything that needs to be done in the home so that would assure the safety of the individual who is fragile, who is elderly, or who has a mental disability that cannot fully function with these services on their own or by themselves. So that's where my agency comes into play, and all my people are certified. They go through vigorous training. My human resources director, Mr. Keith Vining, he trains all of my personnel. They do core, they do all the state level training that's needed, first aid, CPR, etc., before we even send them out to an individual home. And the beauty of this service is, what if, a lot of people ask me, what if I have an individual, but I know someone who takes care of my dad very well, that I want this individual to work with my father. In those cases, yes, you do have a lot of people who come to me with their own staff. Only thing that we ask, of course, Ms. Pat, is that you have a clean record. Because we will be checking, because that is a state qualification that an individual does not have a felony and they do not have a record. And that they also have a clean driving record. Because a lot of these individuals do require a doctor's appointment, or need to go to the grocery store, or just run errands for them or with them. So with that said, they would definitely need a clean driving record. So we need to be sure that they have, number one, a clean service record, criminal record, and number two, a clean driving record. So long-term care is very important for people in this parish. I notice it's very, very popular. It's very, very good, and it's very exciting for the people of this parish.
One of the things you mentioned, people who come to you with their own personnel, because I've been working for Mr. J for 20 years.
Yes, ma'am.
And I would like for him to continue, this person continue to work for my dad or whoever. Does these people have to take some of your training?
Yes, they do.
That you would provide? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
How long is that training period?
The training period is about 4, maybe 5 hours long.
Okay.
It's not days long, but it is the state certified core training that has to be given to each individual to work. Well, it's supposed to be given to each individual that works for a agency that is licensed and insured with the state of Louisiana.
Well, when I look at your theme, when only independence matters, can you look into your camera and just let the audience know why this theme?
It came about to me. It was very, very personal, because I noticed over my journey of meeting different clients and different staff, a lot of people say, oh, I just want to live in my home independently. Please don't take me away. Don't put me in a nursing facility. I don't want to live with my daughter. I want to live on my own. I just want to be independent. And God just let it in my spirit and in my heart to think of this logo, when only independence matters. Because that is so very, very, very important to individuals today, that they be independent. And that's all that matters to that individual, is that they're independent. They don't want to be dependent on anyone. People think that these people want to be laying on a person or don't want to be active in the community and so on and so forth. Ms. Pat, that's far from the truth. These people want to be independent. And that's where I got that theme from.
Right. And I'm glad to know that, because as you may or may not know, my daughter has completed law school, and she's working for a large firm in New Orleans now.
Excellent.
And she and her sister were talking, and she didn't think her older sister was going to tell me what she said, but she did. And she said, well, you know, Mom is getting old, and she's going to need somebody to take care of her.
That's for a long time, Miss Pat.
Yeah, I know. For me, yeah. And they have places that she can go into. I can get her an assisted living, and she'll be traveling a lot, so I won't have to worry about her, and I'll be able to have a nurse to come in and look at her. And I told my daughter, I said, do I look like, right now, I need this. I'm glad it's out there, but right now, I don't need this. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. But it's good that you have these kinds of services. Now, I notice you have a large parish area. What are some of the the parishes that you...
Absolutely. We service, of course, Region 9. We go by regions. The state makes us go by regions to geographically place every agency with a region. It just so happened I have more than one region that I service. I also service the New Orleans area, which is a different region, which is Region 1.
Okay.
But for Tangipahoa Whole Parish, I service Region 9, which is all the cities in Tangipahoa Whole Parish, from a meat city on down to Tangipahoa.
Okay.
And then, of course, St. Helena Parish, which is Greensburg and Montpelier. I also service Washington parishes, St. Tammany parishes, and Livingston parish cities. So all your listeners that are listening from the Livingston parish area or St. Helena parish area, even St. Tammany parish areas. And then there may be a person who's looking at your show right now that have loved ones in the New Orleans area. We service New Orleans, Belle Chase, the West Bank, all of those areas. So we are glad to be part of the regional service area here for St. Tammany, Tangipahoa, Jefferson, New Orleans, and we're all over Southeast Louisiana and hoping to grow even further, reach deeper into deeper cities like Baton Rouge and Lafayette, Shreveport, and maybe someday jump state line and go through Mississippi, Alabama, and Texas. Anywhere where there is a need, we're there.
Right. Where are you located now, your corporate office? Where is it located now?
Oh, absolutely. We're located at 509 South Chestnut Street in Hammond, Louisiana. That's downtown Hammond. That is actually, a lot of people are familiar with Woody's Old Grocery Store.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. It used to be Woody's Old Grocery Store, and then the Our Daily Bread used to operate their operation out of that building for several years. And then we acquired the building in December of last year. So we are pretty much just solidly got our feet planted, and we're set there. And again, it's 509 South Chestnut Street in Hammond, Louisiana, 70403. And the phone number there is 985-662-5347. And we're open 8 a.m. to 4:30, Miss Pat, Monday through Friday.
Okay. You were located when you started in Ponchatoula, is that correct?
That is correct. We were at 112 South 3rd Street, but due to progress, praise God, thank you, Jesus, we outgrew it, and now we are permanently, and I want to say the word permanently because I love this location. It's central located, and it helps a lot of people in this area and in this community. And now we're at 509 South Chestnut Street in Hammond.
Okay, well, before we go for break, do you have any closing comments for the first half, and then we'll be back for the second half?
Just to pay close attention to your loved one. Don't leave people unattended. Don't think that you can just run to the grocery store, because that's where accidents happen, and it happens very quickly. Don't leave an elderly person at home for any length of time, especially while you're working or on just out into the community. Be mindful of what you're doing, because our elderly is our love in our hearts.
Well, that being said, we're going for a break now, and we'll be right back.
Shelters are the best places to find a new pet.
What a perfectly beautiful little lady.
That's where you'll discover healthy, loyal, and loving animals.
You little rascal.
Eager to become a part of your family. A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet.
Oh, ladies first.
Be that person. Adopt.
This is living. Hey, kid.
To find out more, visit theshelterpetproject.org.
Welcome back to the PM Talk Show. We have with us today a very special guest who's giving some very informative information on services that are needed throughout Region 9, Region 1, or throughout this country, as a matter of fact. Ms. Vining Trepagnier, before the break you were talking about the types of services that you offer, why those services are important, but I notice on here you have Children's Choice, Supported Independent Living, and the acronym EPSDT/PCS. What is that?
Okay, very, very good question. I get a lot of people say, in this business there are so many acronyms. That is true. We use the acronyms to make it easier for us, and to relate to the service that is connected to the individual more quickly. The Children's Choice, of course, CC, is a service that was invented many years ago from a service provider himself, a director with OCDD, which is the Office of Community Development of Disabilities. That service was invented to help children of the state who parents cannot stay at home with the child on long periods of time. So this is totally different from long-term care, because long-term care usually happens with an adult up until the elderly, because the elderly disabled waiver went away. So now it's strictly just long-term care, or CCW, which is community choice waiver. And those waivers are for the elderly. So Children's Choice is just what it is. It services the children in the area who are developmentally disabled or who have been stricken with a physical disability. And that the family need to work, and we're there to assist them and to help them with that child. And the supervised independent living is what it is. It is for an individual who is able to live on their own, who is definitely independent to pay their own bills. Some can be assisted with cooking their own food, but they just need to be supervised. These individuals receive services from the state of Louisiana that grant them the okay to live safely in their own home. But being that my agency supervises them, we have a person, an individual that they're comfortable with, that works with them to make sure that they're okay in their home. And with the EPSDT PCS, again, that is a personal care choice service waiver. That is another waiver for children, but that is for a short term. That's for children who need, I would say, between 12 and up to maybe 28 hours a week, just to assist the parents with short-term assistance, like laundry, fixing their meal, helping them with their homework, and so on and so forth. So all these services are very important. And I touched on community choice waiver. That's another elderly waiver service. And you can find all these services and acronyms and information about these services on my website at parishessupportiveliving.com. That's www.parishessupportiveliving.com, and visit that web page. And I always encourage individuals to do your homework. Don't just go around and provider shop, because there are many of us out there, but all of us are different. And I tell people that all the time, from the pay to the way that the business is operated, to the satisfaction, to the accountability, to the responsibility of the provider. Every provider is different. Most people would say, oh, you do no different than any other provider. That is not true. There are some that are set aside and set apart from other providers. So I always encourage my individuals to do your homework, call the Better Business Bureau, call the chamber in your area, which we are a part of all of those activities. Get in touch with your civic and state leaders. Find out. Do an investigation on the agency. Don't just say, oh, they're paying 25 cents more an hour, I'm going to run to this agency. Yeah, but in the long term, once that agency either go out of business or is shut down, now you're scrambling around to try and find another provider when all of this could have been done correctly in the first place. And go follow your heart. Follow your heart, follow your spirit, follow your heart, pray on it like, you're supposed to, and go with a provider agency that best suit your needs. Not my needs, not Miss Pat's needs, not anyone else's need. Follow and just pursue your own needs.
Okay. Info at parishessupportiveliving.com. That's just general information about your business.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is if they want to send us an email and get more information about us. And by the way, we do have a YouTube commercial.
Okay.
So by all means, I know everything is social media these days. Yeah. Pop on over to YouTube, punch in Parishes Supportive Living, and that commercial will come on, and it will explain a lot of our services and how we operate at Parishes Supportive Living as well.
Okay, what about your newsletter?
We do have a newsletter. Wonderful. Thank you for bringing it up, Pat. We have a newsletter that was implemented by Minister Isaiah Vining, who's my brother. And if you haven't noticed, it is a family-owned and orientated business. Okay. So that's wonderful. That's a plus on my part. Yeah. Most people don't understand how in the world it works, but it works. It works for me. And it's called Visions. And it's Vision in Seeing into Others' Needs is the name of the newsletter. Okay. And it comes out monthly. And Minister Dawn Jackson, who is my niece, I'm happy to say, she runs my Harahan office. So she runs my South Shore office over at 824 Elmwood Park Boulevard in Harahan, Louisiana. And she puts the newsletter together for me, and it's a monthly newsletter. And what it does, it has Bible passages, words of encouragement. It talks about the agency. It has all type of activities about the agency, what we're up to. We do bonuses, we do raises, we do incentives, we do referral fees, we do the whole 9 yards. We have company picnics, we have company balls, we have awesome activities. We just had a bowling party at Tangy Lanes. The management over at Tangy Lane, thank God for them. They were very kind, very helpful, very sweet. Everybody put on those bowling shoes, and we had the guardrails. And my daughter Kasia won the pot of who bowled the first double of a strike, and she won. I was like, oh, how did she win? She don't even bowl.
It usually happens that way, though.
And we stuffed them with pizza and soda and cupcakes and cookies, just something to get our individuals active and out into the community. How many providers do that, Ms. Pat?
Not very many, I don't think. Not very many.
We just like to share, to get people out into the community, because it is a licensing reg that you must take your client into the community. You just don't want to service individuals and keep them locked up in their home. So what we try to do is do activities as an agency to put them out into the community and enjoy themselves. And that newsletter sums it up with a lot of that. There's a lot of useful information. It talks about Black History Month every month. It's not that Black History Month is just designated to February. We have a Black History Month section in our newsletter for every month. And then, of course, we have our thoughts, Your Thoughts Matter, in our newsletter. It's a very brief description from a client and a DSW, which is a direct service worker. And they talk about how the agency is good to them. And it's very, very interesting. We even take vacations. As a matter of fact,
really?
Yes, ma'am. We're going to be on a beautiful Carnival Dream this year. We're going to the Bahamas and Key West, Florida.
Wow.
On a 7-day cruise, and we'll be there from December 14th to December 21st. So if anyone is interested, because of the severity of the agency and my tax ID and so on and so forth, we get a very good, awesome rate. And you do not have to be part of Parishes Supportive Living to take part. We encourage all individuals to come and join us and have a good time with our citizens.
Okay, so you do take the citizens on the cruise?
Absolutely. Exactly. And for them to just get, some people don't even get out of the state of Louisiana, Ms. Pat. We're trying to get our individuals to just embrace and just have a wonderful, awesome time in the Lord and have a good time, just cruising and letting their hair down and just enjoying themselves.
But it sounds like you put a lot more back into the community and into the lives of the patients that you have.
You have to.
Right.
You have to. Because you could just have a business and shut the door.
Right.
You could let that business just run itself and just take off and do what it needs to do and have a smooth sailing. But if you are an individual that care, if you are an individual that really love what you do and love what you do for the community and the communities that you serve, you'll go that extra mile. You put that much into it because this is heartfelt. Right. This is not something that's just out the blue and okay, they're accompanying and they're with me and I get this money, I get this reimbursement rate and it's gone. That's nowhere near of what I do. I put everything back into the community. I put everything back into the church, All Nations Church International, under the direction of Bishop Samuel McGill. Oh my God, we work with him graciously. So we do a lot for the community. The church is our daily bread. We give back into the community through our daily bread. So no one can say that Parishes does not give back to the community. And I thank God for Miss Pat. I mean, she has been awesome, always been a wonderful person in the community. Always be there for me, and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much for having me on. It has truly been a pleasure.
Certainly, and it's been a blessing to me and to my viewing audience, because it sounds like Luke 6:38 is working for you.
Oh, yes, ma'am.
Give and it shall be given unto you. Good measure, pressed down, shaken together,
Oh,
and
praise-
running over.
Yes, ma'am.
So you're running over now.
Yes,
and that's
ma'am.
a good thing.
I'm drinking from the saucer,
All right.
and it is awesome and a wonderful feeling to do so.
Good, good. That's great. Well, we're about to end this segment, and I'm so excited. And now you know why I say I don't talk a lot. People don't want to hear me; they want to hear you.
And I went on and on and
Yeah.
on. I took advantage of that, huh, Miss Pat?
And that's good, because people need to know
Yes,
that
ma'am.
Parishes Supportive Living is there, incorporated.
Yes,
that
ma'am.
you're there, and you're there for people that really need it, and those who need it really get what they need. Do you have any closing comments?
Yes, I do. Please call our office. We're available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. at 985-662-5347 if you should have any questions. We are on the web at www.parishessupportiveliving.com, and we're also on YouTube at parishessupportiveliving.com. And we are an agency out to assist the community. We're also advertising in the Bogalusa Star. We advertise in the Daily Star. We advertise in the Times-Picayune. And I tell people all the time when they call me, you don't have to come to me. You don't have to come to Parishes Supportive Living. Just come. Just get the information, and to have a safe and well-being time with your loved one. In other words, don't leave your people unattended. Please, please. There is assistance out there. Just call my office. We'll be more than happy to point you in the direction, so we can give you the 1-800 number to long-term care at the state of Louisiana, and we'll help you through the process of getting your loved one service and getting all the needs that they need. Or if you're not happy with your present provider, you can always count on us. We'll be happy to help you and happy to steer you in that right direction. And thank you again, Miss Pat.
Thank you, Miss Belinda, for being my guest today. And we want to tell everyone to continue joining us, because you never know who your guest is going to be
Absolutely.
the next time. But we want to remind you again that knowledge is powerful. It does matter. Thank you for the knowledge that you've learned today. Have a great week, and God bless.